Welcome to another episode of Run with Julia. Thank you for joining me on the run, and today I am going to go and do some intervals on the treadmill. I know that many runners don't really like the treadmill, but there are some who do, and I'm one of those. I've done intervals on the treadmill for as long as I can remember at various times. I remember back in the 80s, I had my own fitness centre and we had a treadmill, so even in my 20s, because I can remember that Greta Weitz and Ingrid Christensen, who were top marathon runners at the time, they did interval training on the treadmill in the winter because they had so much snow. I think they also did cross-country skiing. So I was very influenced by them, even though we didn't have snow. And it has worked for me. So I'm going to go and run through Battersea Park to warm up, and then join me on my interval training session. And for any of you who don't remember Greta Weitz and Ingrid Christensen, the reason they had so much snow was they lived in Norway. So their winter months were very, very snowy. On my way. On my left, setting up the Duke of York Square for the Farmers Market, which is every Saturday, and hopefully looks like it's going to be lovely weather for it. And I suddenly remembered a story about Greta Weitz and me. In 1986, I was the 7th woman finisher in the London Marathon, and Greta Weitz won the race. I was also the 3rd British finisher, and so that meant that I had to have a drug test. So the first two, Paula Fudge and Anne Ford, who were twins, they had been 1st and 2nd finisher, and we were all going to go back in the taxi together to the hotel, and for a drug test you all go into a room, and then you all have to go in to the loo, and you have to sit on the loo to have a wee that obviously catch, and someone has to stand opposite you to check that you're not swapping it or doing anything that would hide if you were on drugs. Anyway, two things. One, I was dehydrated, but I think everyone was, but I seemed to be the one who couldn't wee anyway. And also, I'm quite a free spirit, and I've weed on the path next to my friends while I'm still chatting to them when we're on runs. So I wasn't the kind of person you'd think would be a nervous weer in front of a drug tester, but I was. I guess this nice lady was standing opposite me, and it just didn't happen. She'd run the taps and do this and do that. Anyway, and Paula and Anne were lovely, but they were saying, come on, Julia. Everyone's waiting for Julia. And then Greta comes in, and she whizzes in, goes off to the loo, comes out, and off she goes. And as she goes, she said, and I think I won that race too. Greta Weitz was a wonderful, wonderful woman and a wonderful athlete. She's not in her body anymore, but she was an inspiration to me, and just as well as being a great athlete, a great person. And she was a huge inspiration to me, and still is. I was 18 and I read that Greta was running 100 miles a week, and I was a little bit of a difficult athlete to coach, to be honest, because I always wanted to do my own thing. And so without telling my coach at 18 years old, I decided I was going to run 100 miles a week. To be fair, it was a bit too much too soon, but as the years have progressed, it is the mileage that she inspired me with that turns me from an athlete that it's always, I'm very fortunate. I have a body that can run well, but mileage in my body, and it runs super well. But of course, the mileage has to take effect. And just crossing the road. And that can take a bit of time and consistency. Just going, I don't want to cross the road yet. I'm just going on to Chelsea Bridge. But this week, I'm again doing a 60-mile week, which, running this morning, I actually feel quite good. And I wasn't sure, my legs felt tired yesterday in the day. But running along now, my body's like, yeah, bring it on, which is a nice feeling. Here I am in Chelsea Bridge. River Thames. Then over here, City of London. Battersea Park. I love this park. I love running by the river too. It's a river. We're coming up to the Buddhist pagoda, which is very beautiful. There it is. During lockdown, I had a Facebook group called Conversations with the Bodhisattva, which my client Josie, hello Josie, asked me first to do a satsang, and then Anadi said, why don't you continue? And so for a year, all through lockdown, I appeared every day for live videos and things to help people get through lockdown. This wasn't to do with running, this was to do with my other, well, my work, my other work. And Anadi would come with me, usually, and twice a week we'd do chanting, and sometimes we'd come here and do chanting, live chanting session, and everybody would join in on Mondays and Fridays. Chelsea Town Hall. Approaching the gym, which is next door. And down here, Chelsea Sports Centre. I'm in the gym. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to film myself. And I'm going to do a session of 20 times per minute with a minute recovery. And the plan of what I'm doing is I'm doing 14 kilometres an hour, which is 21-25 days. And I've responded to that sort of training. My plan is to get it up to 10 times 3 minutes, 14, because generally I convert very easily. But at the moment, 21-25 days still, I'm very consistent in the 22. I'm very, very consistent. Twice this year, I have gone under 22 by 3 seconds, 21.57 with Ida, and I did in January actually with Rosie. We were in Worthing, no, we went to Worthing, we were in Weymouth, and so I've snuck under twice, but generally I'm, as you know, between 22.15 and 22.30, very consistently, but I'm ready for a breakthrough. I think body's ready too. This is my friend Andrew.
Hi guys.
He is a fitness trainer here, he's a bodybuilder, we chat, we kind of
Have a lot of banter.
And I was just saying, I don't know how I was going to film myself running. He's going to put it on there?
Yeah.
So thank you.
No worries. Go on. Faster.
I've got Andrew behind the camera, thank you so much.
No worries.
A minute recovery, and then I'll go again. And I've got my amazing person behind the camera. I asked the duty manager, and he said, well, be aware and make sure you don't film too many people. And I was thinking, oh, sure, oh, I'm going to do this. There you were. So, 15 seconds. I'll go again. 14 kilometres an hour is 6:54 pace.
6:54, yeah.
Yeah, and it's 21:25. If I were to maintain this pace, I could run 21:25 for 5k. And recently, I've been running a lot of 5ks in 22:50, 22:30. So my plan is to train this body to run at this pace for the whole way. And of course, interval training is amazing. Just trains the body in little doses.
Yeah.
Well, like your training.
Like what I do, yeah.
Bodybuilding.
So anything, a bit of perseverance, the longer it takes, the better results.
Very good, thank you. Good words of wisdom. Well done. I hope you can hear me with the gym noise. I really enjoyed that. It felt really good. It felt very easy. Cleaned up machine. definitely sweat a lot. And I'm going to see Andrew, see what he's up to. But that was, 20 times a minute, 14k with a minute jog.
5 years ago, in May, so what month in September, oh yeah. So 5 years this year in May, so coming up to nearly 5.5 years. 26. Well, so past relationship didn't go too well. I went really downhill with depression, anxiety, got a lot of weight. Got into a new relationship with my ex now, and yeah, just got into the gym. Never looked back.
Wow, so the combination of finding somebody who you felt at that time and also gym work, so your relationship with yourself in the gym, your relationship with your partner.
Self-love, yeah, was a big thing.
And did you find that yourself, or did you go and get any help?
For myself, yeah. I tried to use like the NHS and stuff like that, but the time frame of waiting to get help was just too long to wait, so we could just focus on something, have something to focus on as a goal.
Wow, so getting weight for a lot. So that's your route out is to focus on something as a goal. And how did that help?
A lot, yeah. So I mean, we're focusing on myself and just having a goal set all the time. Something that even today helps me. Like if I don't have a mindset of a goal that I want to achieve, it's so easy to follow. So easy.
So but now you've got that skill, do you think you'll always adapt to your life?
100%. Yeah, I try to adapt it to anything that I'm doing, not just the gym. So if I have a certain goal that I want to achieve, like in a business perspective or financial perspective, then I always set steps to a goal. It's a long time frame that how am I going to get to here to here, from there to there, and then obviously the end of it.
And you coach people as well? Yeah. So do you give them those skills?
Yeah, so I try my best to obviously help implement what I've learned into the clients that I work with. My first client was my little brother, so he went through a similar thing with myself. So I knew exactly how to deal with that situation. And my brother is one of those ones where only really I understand him. So he will always come to me, talk to me, rather than talk to anyone else. And he went from 115 kilos down to 85 in just under 2 years.
Wow.
It's a lot.
It is incredible what the physical is kind of an expression of emotion too, isn't it? And also, I think it's so interesting being a coach because we're often teaching what we're learning ourselves.
So yeah, there's always something to learn. That's the thing. So you never stop learning. You never stop growing. And unless you don't want to learn or want to grow into the next bracket, then you're just going to always stay the same.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So here we are. Andrew wasn't here when I was going, how am I going to do this? Yeah, and there he is. So thank you. So now I'm in the farmers market, the Duke York Square. We're in this track area, which actually Roger Bannister used to train on when he was training to run his sub 4-minute mile. And actually it's not even a 400 metre track, it's about 320 or something. Probably got that wrong. but every Saturday in the summer they open it up for the farmers market. So I found an Ardi after my interval session, and we've had we get different things from the different stalls. And just to round up my week, first of all, thank you so much, Andrew, for filming me. And you can find Andrew on Instagram, Andrew J Fitness, but I'm going to tag him below. So if you want to see all of his posts, I'll put a link in the show notes. And I have so far run 90 kilometres this week, because we're doing a let's have an easy day tomorrow day, so that Nadia and I can just hang out a bit. So I've so far run 56 miles, I've worked out, so I've only got to run 5 miles tomorrow to get another 60-mile week. I did the intervals you've just seen. I actually did the same session in the middle of the week. I've done lots this week. I did the race. I've done more than 10% of my mileage fast. I've forgotten that. I did the race on the Monday, the King's Head Canter. I did the 20 times a minute on Thursday, then I've done it today. So I've actually done 15k of speediness in it will be 100k week, so that is 15% fast. I feel good. I feel the mileage is working. As I said in the video, I've got this mission to smash through that 22, although I appreciate my body's very consistent, liking around the 22.15 to 22.30, but I'm ready, and I'm readying it for improvement into the 21s, and to stay in there and of course keep progressing. So if you've enjoyed this video, as always, please put the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do, and thank you so much for running with Julia.